Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TARDIS Zone Talks. And we're here to talk about a NewsWeek journalist who is spreading a false narrative in relation to Hugh Grant's rumoured casting or talks about him negotiating to be the next Doctor. But I just want to start off with a tweet that I see, a couple of tweets here. One of them actually is part of this article, so I'll read the other one. But I just wanted to start off with this and give my opinion. So I won't say who the Twitter account who's wrote this, so I'll just read it out. Great to see all the right-wing twats saying they'd never watch Doctor Who with Hugh Grant. I'm surprised they carry on watching when a woman took over. They probably want Jim Davison or CGI Enoch Powell sending all the aliens back to their own planet. When did wanting a man for the role become a right-wing thing? There's nothing wrong with casting a man for the role of the Doctor. I'm sorry that casting a woman did not work out the way it was supposed to work out, or the way it's perceived to have worked out. It hasn't, right? That's not our fault. That's BBC's fault for pandering to a few idiots, right, that thought that this was the best thing to do, right? It ruined the show, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that everybody in the fandom is happy if Hugh Grant is the 14th Doctor. But the overwhelming feeling and response that I've seen has been mostly positive. Now, do people in this fandom give a crap about his past? There will be some that will bring that up, but for the majority of us, he's worked ever since. He publicly apologized at the time, did all the things that he needed to do, right? So as far as we're concerned, that whole thing is done with, right? Now, I have finished watching A Very English Scandal, isn't that what it's called? Written by RTD. And himself and Ben Whishaw are in it. And I'm just after watching the last episode just there. That's why I took so long coming on. Because while we were watching, we were pausing and we were talking about it, because it was just crazy what we just seen. Brilliant acting from Hugh Grant. Now, I've seen some people out there make uneducated comments about Hugh Grant. Now, I don't care what Hugh Grant's personal politics are, right? But if that's what you're going to base the fact that he shouldn't be cast on, well then, sorry, you've lost credibility there. David Tennant would be considered left-wing, but yet he made a great Doctor. Actually, most of the actors that we've probably had in the New Who era especially have been left-wing actors, right? Doesn't matter if they're left-wing, right-wing, centralist, right? If they're a good fit for Doctor Who, they're a good fit for Doctor Who. But the fact that we have people out there that are using that as the excuse that they're not having cast is absolutely ridiculous, right? It is ridiculous, okay? Because you're never gonna please everybody anyway. But there's an article from Newsweek, and it's the entertainment section or the culture section or whatever it is. And a journalist has decided that he's going to write an article based around a couple of tweets that were thrown up, concluding that the fandom are aghast that Hugh Grant is in talks to take over from Jodie Whittaker. Now, that's an absolute blatant lie, right? Now, as I said, I'm not going to sit here and say that everybody is on board with the Hugh Grant casting. Always with a casting or a rumoured casting, there'll always be people for and there'll always be people against. But this journalist is trying to make out that the fandom has actually discussed it. right? The fandom, and he quotes, he shows 2 tweets or 3 tweets or whatever it is in this article to justify this article. I think it's weak. I think it's bad journalism. And if this journalist had actually done proper research, the article he'd be writing would be a completely different article. What I would say is that the Hugh Grant rumoured to be taken over has had a mixed reaction with the fandom, but I would say it's mostly on the positive side. I'm not saying that there are people that do not like this cast, and of course there is. There always will be. It's the same with Christopher Eccleston. It was the same with David Tennant. I didn't think David Tennant would make a great Doctor, but I was proven wrong, right? There were some people that didn't think Matt Smith could pull off being the Doctor. He proved everybody wrong, right? Some people said that Peter Capaldi was too old to play the Doctor. He proved people wrong. This happens. But to start coming out with a negative spin after 2 days or whatever it is that this news broke is absolutely ridiculous. So I have put the article, I want to make it clear, because the last time I called out a journalist, I got into trouble because some big man baby in the fandom decided to alert this journalist that I was attacking him, and the journalist didn't take it well. And then the magazine, you all know who I'm talking about, that magazine then went after me channel. Now, the mistake that I made then was I didn't put the article in the link description, which was my bad. But I have this time, as I do with all the articles now. So it's in the link description, right? It's in the link description. So here we go. We'll share it now. So NewsWeek here, right? And it is the culture section of NewsWeek. So let's read it. Hugh Grant Doctor Who rumours leave fans aghast. Worst choice possible. And the article is by Jamie Burton. So let's read the article and what's being said here. Hold on. See, this is what I hate about articles like this, all these ads popping up and stuff. But anyway, Doctor Who's passionate fan base has a lot to say about the possibility of Hugh Grant taking on the role of the Doctor. The British sci-fi show has been on air since 1963, with 13 actors permanently taking on the role as the last remaining Time Lord. Current Doctor Jodie Whittaker has confirmed she'll exit the show at some point in 2022, leaving the door open for a new actor, potentially Grant, to take on the role. According to the British newspaper The Mirror, Doctor Who is set for a Marvel-style makeover, with Grant reportedly in talks to join the long-running franchise. While nothing has been confirmed yet, Doctor Who fans took to the internet to share their strong emotions about the casting. Some, like at Lucas Film Girl, couldn't believe the suggestion and made her feelings about Grant abundantly clear. He's slimy, he's sanctimonious, rich, woke, condescending, old, bubbling idiot. Worst choice possible, she plainly wrote. But the full tweet is actually Hugh Grant as Doctor Who will be the final nail in the coffin of the franchise. And then she said what she said there, which I actually disagree with. And Doctor Who fan, but goes under Lucas Film Girl. So obviously fandom menace. The role of the Doctor in Doctor Who is often being played by an emerging talent and Twitter user. Dave alone wants a return to tradition rather than a big name like Grant. He said, give me somebody who is largely unknown but good at acting, or is a secret rabbit Doctor Who fan and good at acting every time. Just like the last 13 or so. Current Dr. Whittaker was the first woman to take on the role, while Jo Martin, a black actress, also played a version of the Doctor. Now, a Frosty McHugh thinks casting a 60-year-old Grant may send the wrong message. If they cast a white man as the Doctor right now, it would come across as admitting defeat, admitting a woman cannot be the Doctor, they said. But again, these are right. I mean, that's ageist for starters, right? Also, casting a white man to me seems a bit racist, but people will claim that you can't be racist to white people, but that's fair enough. I see it differently, right? And then they say, well, you can't cast a man now because it would be admitting defeat. But we all know that the show is dead in the water. I mean, casting a man, fair enough, if you want to take it as admitting defeat, it would be, you're right. But at the end of the day, that's what needs to happen to save this show. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. But there you go. So 2 tweets so far. This is what, Jack, of course. Look who this are. This article, right? Obviously, this journalist, right? I'm starting to see something here now. While some fans voice concerns, many more have expressed their delight, possibly of a Notting Hill actor taking the role. I feel like I'm the only one who thinks Hugh Grant would make a great choice for the next Doctor, said Twitter user Use Know Who. But luckily they were alone in their assessment. Luckily they weren't alone in their assessment, I should say. Batman March confirmed he fully supported Grant as the famous Time Lord. Hugh Grant would be amazing, Doctor. He got my vote, while Soups Kenobi thought that Grant had charm and commanding authority for the role. Many point out Grant's stardom may pull in new viewers to the show. Dr. Longscarf wrote, "You would be a great choice in the role and would bring a huge amount of mainstream media attention to Doctor Who." But here's the thing, right? So he's framed this article, the journalist has framed this article as negative, right? But he's put up 2 not so good tweets, right? Negative ones. The rest of them so far in this article have been positive. So why wasn't there a positive spin put on the article and say Hugh Grant's casting rumour widely praised by fans, but some fans do not think he's right choice for Dr. 14. He's framed the article the other way around. There's another one. Hugh Grant would make a great Doctor. People who don't normally watch it would watch it. Yeah, he was funny as in Paddington 2. Stole the shoe. I think he meant show. Brilliant in A Very English Scandal. I agree. If you haven't watched A Very English Scandal, go and get watching. Others, however, thought the suggestion was too good to be true. Hugh Grant as the 14th Doctor, would love it to happen, but I just can't see it being true. He's a big name, says Star Whovian. If Hugh Grant is the next Doctor and don't rename the show Doctor Hugh, then what's the point? Yeah, well, I knew you'd get some of those stupid comments, wouldn't you? While the suggestion of Grant in the role of Doctor may seem fresh to some, many Doctor Who fans were quick to point out that it's a role he played once before in a 1990 charity special for comic relief. He starred along Ronan Atkinson, Richard E. Grant, and Joanna Lumley in Doctor Who: Curse of the Fatal Death. Previous actors to have played the lead role Doctor Who include Matt Smith, David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston. Before bowing out as the 13th Doctor, Whittaker will appear in the role in another special episode, Legend of the Sea Devils, in April 2022. There's Hugh Grant again. And see, this is what I don't get about this article. There's 2 tweets that are negative. Yeah, he's framed the article negative, and most of the comments are positive. The tweets are positive in that article. This is, seriously, This is not how you do journalism, right? And this is why I've said to you, journalists over the years have lost credibility, especially when it comes to writing about Doctor Who. They see what's happened is you have journalists that have their own personal politics, and if something doesn't fit within their own personal politic, they report on it that way. A journalist's job is supposed to be neutral. It doesn't matter what their personal politics is; they're supposed to report on it without being biased. That's what a journalist is supposed to do, right? But they don't do that anymore. Journalists are just like actors and actresses out there, right? They all have personal politic, you know what I mean? And some actors and actresses would actually take roles based on their personal politic nowadays. It's absolutely ridiculous. You're paid to do a job, just do the fucking job. You know? I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of this. You've seen that article for yourselves. 2 tweets I've read out that were bad, right? The rest of the tweets were positive about the potential casting, right? And yet the journalist has decided to frame it, Doctor Who fans are aghast at Hugh Grant's casting. It's absolute bull. Absolute bull, right? As I said, the casting of Hugh Grant, or the potential casting of Hugh Grant, has actually had a positive reaction. I've even seen some that are fans of the current era who are actually excited if this is true, which I have to be honest, I was surprised myself. But there you go. So no, you don't put up two tweets, right? And one isn't even actually a Doctor Who fan account. It's a Lucasfilm fan person, right? And claim it's a Doctor Who fan. And obviously, I'm not having a go, but obviously that person has never watched Hugh Grant's other stuff, right? And can't get over the fact that he made a mistake back in the day and apologized for it. You know what I mean? And then calls him woke, because of his politic. David Tennant was woke by everybody's standards, right? And still made a great Doctor. As I said, most of the Doctor Who actors that have played the role, especially in New Who, would be left-winged, left-minded in their politics. So that's irrelevant. But they want to dig this crap up again because, they're letting this whole left-right thing cloud their judgment. We should be basing Hugh Grant, and we should be rating him on his acting ability, right? And whether he's the right fit or not the right fit for Doctor Who. We shouldn't be focused on, Hugh Grant supports blah, 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 so I'm not going to watch him as the Doctor. If you're going to have that attitude, well then you'll never watch Doctor Who, because unfortunately, it's just the way it is. Everybody, especially actors and actresses, seem to be more left-minded with their politics. So every choice that RTD makes, or every showrunner makes after that, right, is never going to be happy, because it's always going to be, as you call it, a woke choice. So I mean, you need to get out. You need to get over that. You need to get over that. David Tennant made a great Doctor. Matt Smith would be considered left-wing with his politics as well. Peter Capaldi, the same. Right? Did it hamper their ability to play the role? No, it didn't. And that's why this whole thing bringing up about his politics is bullshit. Right? It's bull. But that's what happens now. As I said anyway, right? And this not having a go, but I've said it. The fandom menace have lost credibility a long time ago. Even some of the big channels don't even use the fandom menace hashtag anymore. It didn't have the same impact that I had, because it did good stuff during the sequel trilogy when fans needed to know what was going on with Star Wars. They did a great job. But now it's just become, it's still the same old arguments years later. And I don't take some of these people seriously anymore. So if you're gonna just focus on the politic of the actor or actress, then you're never gonna be happy who's cast. And us Doctor Who fans, I'm sorry, that's never really mattered, right? Up until Jodie Whittaker. And the only reason why it mattered with Jodie Whittaker is because Jodie Whittaker started inserting her own politic into the show and start going around and doing the interviews that she did. And basically, coming out and mocking fans with that stylist video and doing stuff, right? None of the other actors did that, and they were left-winged in their politic. So don't be giving me this crap, he's woke and all of this, right? He's a great actor, right? And if his name is in the frame and there is talks happening or he's already being cast, I'd be absolutely over the moon. Absolutely over the moon. About time that someone came in and actually cast based on talent for a change instead of politic, right? Jodie Whittaker was cast because of politics, right? If RTD casts Hugh Grant, he's casting Hugh Grant based on his talent, based on the fact that RTD had written him recently in a TV show where he acted out of his bloody skin. I'm just at the finish in that show. Hugh Grant, that was an absolutely brilliant performance. And bleeding Ben Whishaw. Holy bloody shit. Either of those two to be the Doctor for me now. Right? I've made up my mind. Hugh Grant or Ben Whishaw. That's who I would want. Either one of those two would make a superb bloody Doctor. Right? Forget about their politics. I don't care about their politics. It's their acting ability. And acting ability, they're bloody above what we've gotten, right? Peter Capaldi we've always said it, Peter Capaldi is the best actor we ever had play the Doctor, right? But he didn't get the greatest scripts. Hugh Grant would be bigger than Peter Capaldi. And I know there's Capaldi fans out there, but he is. He was a former A-list Hollywood star. Some would still class him as an A-list Hollywood star. He's a British icon, right? He's one of the top British actors out there. Why wouldn't you want him? And I'm sick of magazines as well. Listen, when you are doing your articles, right? If you're going to do articles, be honest with your bloody readers, right? To frame an article the way this journalist has framed the article, but when you go in and you read it, and it's mostly positive comments, but they frame it that it's negative. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's lying to your viewers, your readers. Absolutely disgraceful. So that's where I stand on it, right? Yeah, we need to stop this bullshit as well, right? Now, I haven't seen it for anybody that follows me, but I would say to people that follow me and support me, listen, you've got to live. I don't know what Hugh Grant says on Twitter, right? I don't follow Hugh Grant. If he becomes the Doctor and he's still on Twitter, I'll follow him, right? But I don't know what his politic is. I honestly don't give two flying fucks what his politic is, right? Is he good enough to play the Doctor? In my opinion, yes, he is. If he's in talks with RTD or he's already being cast, I would be down with that casting. I would be down with Ben Wishaw's casting, right? Okay? And this other thing from some fans out there that picking a white male Doctor again, right, is a mistake in all of this, and they're bringing and why is all the right wing twats talking about a male Doctor and all this? This is not a political decision, right? And again, everything has to be politics with you guys, right? It's nothing to do with politics. At the end of the day, they tried a female Doctor. Whether you like her or not, some fans were never on board with it from day one, right? Other fans decided to give it a go, right? Now we're at a situation where the last episode got 2 million viewers from the high when she started, with nearly 12 million viewers for the woman who fell to earth. So you've lost 10 million viewers, right, since Series 11 to now. Okay? That's not their fault, right? That's down to the showrunner for not writing great stories and for making the wrong choices with casting, right? And he did make the wrong choices with casting. And he can call me all the names you want and say I'm racist, I'm bigot, I'm sexist and all of this. He made the wrong choice in casting, right? And along with his crap writing and the people, the team that he assembled, the show became a laughing stock, right? Now, going back to a man, is that admitting defeat? Probably is, but nobody cares at this point. See, to you guys, you still care. We don't care now at this point. At the end of the day, we don't give a shit whether BBC admit defeat or not. All we want is Doctor Who to be back as one of the top primetime shows and establish itself as one of the top shows in the world, like it used to, right? That's all we care about. And that's why RTD's announcement for us was a huge thing. Because in 2005, he did the exact same thing. He brought the show back, he lit a fire under fans, and that show became huge again, right? And now he's back, and I hope he pulls the same trick off a second time, right? That's all we're interested in, right? I don't give a crap, right, what you fans on the other side think about casting or any of that. You just need to drop it and let it go. It didn't work, right? Fans didn't accept it, right? 2 million years tuned in for Eve of the Daleks. That tells me all I need to know. 10 million people tuned out, right? And all of this excuse that TV habits have changed is absolute bullshit. It's the weakest argument I've ever heard in all my life. Because the TV ratings, you've got catch up now, you've got the AI, all of this is taken into account. TV habits have indeed changed, nobody has denied that, but the rating system is done that this is, it shows, it reflects it because they have it set up that it shows if people watch on catch up. It shows how many people have watched live. It might not be accurate live, to be quite honest with you, because after 15 minutes or something, or a few minutes, it's cast as a view and people could switch over. I honestly don't believe that 2 million people actually did tune in for Eve of the Daleks. I reckon it was actually less. But that's another argument for another day, right? But at the end of the day, right, Grant's casting, right, just shows you, if it's true, shows me one thing, that this show's in serious trouble, that they have to actually go for a big name. And that's what people should be actually focused on, right? Some people out there are saying, oh, let's bring in someone that we don't know, right? But the show is in such a bad state that if you do that, right, it could backfire on you. So you need that established name to try draw in some viewers. That's the way I'd look at it. Why is Hugh Grant's name being mentioned in relation to it? Why was Michael Sheen's name being mentioned in relation to it? Right? Why are these big names being connected to Doctor Who? Right? That's the question that fans should be asking themselves. And the answer is actually simple. The show is in such a dire state, doesn't have the reputation that it once has, that they need to bring in a new name to rescue the show. And that's the bottom line. And that's the reality of the situation. And this is why these fans are throwing their toys out of the pram and they're complaining. And they keep bringing up why old male and all of this, right? Like, are you listening to yourselves? Are you actually listening to yourselves? You actually sound pathetic, right? R3D should be casting based on talent. That's it, right? If you are just hyper focused on another, look, if he goes with another female doctor, could RTD pull it off? Probably, right? Probably, but I don't think he is going to. Every name that's been mentioned since RTD has been announced, right? It used to be all women being mentioned. Now it's all men being mentioned. That's another question that the fandom should be asking themselves. Why is that? Well, because in recent interviews, even when Jodie was playing the Doctor a few years back, he was still referring to the Doctor as a male character, even though Jodie was playing the Doctor at the time. And if for anybody that doesn't believe me, go on to BBC's Writers' Room on YouTube Go to the Russell T Davis video and listen to it. He refers to the doctor as a male character, even though Jodie is in the role. That's how he sees the doctor, right? Now, some fans out there can argue whether that's right or wrong, but that's how I think he sees the doctor. So, look, at the end of the day, you know, he'll make his decision. He'll make his casting choice, and you're either, you know, as you said to us guys, if you don't like it, well, then this show isn't for you anymore. Bye-bye. You know? Because there's no point of kicking and screaming now. We warned you that this wasn't going to work with Jodie Whittaker, right? I would have preferred if he was going to do a female doctor, but still, in saying that, look at the writing that we got. So any actress that he had brought in, even a better actress than Whittaker, like a Jodie Comer or something like that, or a Claire Foy, right? If you had got those two women to play, or even Olivia Colman, right? With those shit scripts, he would have ruined their careers. The biggest issue here, in the end, at the end of the day, became Chris Chibnall. Jodie was the wrong casting choice. He made that decision. His writing was subpar. The team that he brought in to write was subpar. That was his decision. Everything boils back to him. So it doesn't matter. Any woman that he would have got to play his version of Doctor Who would have failed with those scripts. Right? And now RTD is back. Full creative control. And it's going to surprise some of these fans. Because he's not going to listen to you guys. He's not even going to listen to us. He's going to do his own thing. That's why he's back. He wouldn't have took this job if he didn't know that he was fully in charge, which he is. So for me personally, look, we'll wait and see what happens with the Hugh Grant stuff. But I wanted to talk about this because, you know, we're already getting into territory where you're going to have journalists that have their own private politic, right? And they're going to write an article based on that. Just because they probably personally don't like Hugh Grant, they've decided to do a bit of a hit piece, right? But when you actually go in and read the article, there's what, two or three tweets that were negative, and the rest were all positive. But yet he spun the article as a negative thing. At the end of the day, Hugh Grant, to me, would be a terrific casting choice. I think you do need to bring in a big name. I've said this and I've made my position very clear. I think you really do. The Doctor Who doesn't have the gravitas that I had before. Chris Chibnall has made sure of that, right? That's how bad the show is. If you've got 2 million viewers watching a special, right, Doctor Who, right, 2 million, right, it went from 12 to 2, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. It's actually all of them are washed. Just letting the wife know she's just picking them up. Go wash them clean. All right, yeah. But look, we'll see what happens with the Hugh Grant stuff. As I said, there's still a lot of people out there that don't believe he actually is in talks, and this could be a diversion tactic. You know, and that could quite possibly be the case. You know what I mean? But I'm finding this all intriguing because no matter, look, because this is what's to come, right? If it's not Hugh Grant, but it turns out to be a bloke to play the Doctor, this is the kind of crap that you're going to get from the media, by the way. Oh, fans don't like it. But that won't be the case. That won't be the case. But they'll set up a false narrative because, you know, as I said, they're letting their personal beliefs and their politic cloud their judgment. They're supposed to be journalists, they're supposed to be neutral. They're supposed to, you know, be fair in their in their opinion piece. But obviously you're not seeing that. You don't frame an article like that the way it was framed. When you go in, then it's totally the opposite to what you're saying as the headline. It's disingenuous. And we're going to see a lot of this disingenuous reporting from journalists, especially from places like Digital Spy, Radio Times. You know, you've got all those other magazines as well. You know, so as I said, guys, wait until the announcement anyway, see who is cast. But make up your own mind. Don't be letting any of these articles sway your judgment, you know, or try to set this narrative that fans are angry about this, because as I said, it's been mostly positive. But yeah. So that's all I really have to say on it. But I'm loving all this speculation right now at the moment, so we'll see where it goes. But very interesting. Listen, if this keeps up in the media, the Hugh Grant one, if that keeps up in the media, then I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I think there's. Well, I've already went out on a limb and I've said I think there is something to this. Because it just seems a bit weird that it comes out now. Philip Archer says, what if it isn't Hugh Grant, just clickbait and it's an unknown but works? Yeah, look, as I said, you know, that could be the case. It could be a diversion tactic. But I don't know. There just seems something different about these Hugh Grant rumours, to be honest. You know, and I know everybody's given the Mirror a bit of stick, but they have had previous on other rumours. And I think people are forgetting that. You know, they have had previous on other rumours, right? So we have to wait and see. I remember I told you, right? The most recent example where they were spot on, actually, for anybody that questions the Mirror, here's one for you then. Do you remember I told you when I broke the Jodie Whittaker news? And I told you to look out for the newspapers, and I told you to look out for the Mirror and the Sun and all of those tabloids. And do you remember then what happened? The Mirror reported on Jodie Whittaker leaving, and then it was made official. Right? So the Mirror have previous. They called Jodie Whittaker. Now, obviously, we did before them, but still, they were the first media outlet to say that Whittaker was leaving, was rumoured to be leaving, and blah, 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 and then it became official. So they were right. So don't dismiss the Mirror straight off the bat. Don't dismiss that. This is the thing. People are very quick out there, because I've seen a couple of Twitter accounts saying, oh, no, the Mirror's full of shit. Well, they weren't full of shit when it came to Whittaker's departure. So they do have previous, but this is what normally happens. It's the same with this channel. People will focus on the things that you got wrong, right? And then they'll post it out there. Oh, but look, you got this wrong. Or the Mirror got this wrong, and they weren't right about this, and they weren't right about that. But they don't talk about the time that they were right. Again, I know how this works, right? When I first came on, I didn't know how everything worked, right? I had an idea, and I was a bit naive and stuff at times. But I know how everything works. I know how the media spin works. I know how the Twitter accounts out there that hate us so much, how they spin things, right? And journalists, in my opinion, over the last few years especially, have lost all credibility with the public, right? Of all these. Look, you just have to go on to Rotten Tomatoes, for example, right? Now, a lot of people will agree Rotten Tomatoes is kind of dead as a place to go and review stuff, right? But if you always notice, you go in and look at these shows, and go in and look at Doctor Who, right? Look at the critics' score for Jodie Whittaker's era, right? And then look at the audience score, right? And all you need to do is look at the audience scores for all of these. Because if you were to listen to the critics, all of these shows are great. All of these movies are great. But we've seen them personally and we know they're a pile of crap, but yet the critics praise them. Right? It's the same with Ghostbusters 2016. Go in and look at the critic reviews compared to the audience reviews. Right? The critics and the audience are not seeing eye to eye. Right? The critics are not actually reviewing these things objectively. As I said, they're skewed by their own personal politics, and they'll review a movie or a TV show based on those personal politics. And that is what's wrong. And that's what's happening with a lot of the YouTube channels as well now. You know, no matter how much, look, the left has been destructive, right? The radical left especially. I'm not going to sit here and say they haven't. But so has the right. The right are just doing as much damage as well. Right? And it's getting ridiculous. It's same arguments for the last 5 years are being rehashed over and over and over again, and everybody is still milking it up, and I'm actually surprised. You all need to take a step back and see what's happening here. You know, even YouTubers now, they're not doing reviews based on being objective anymore, right? They're doing reviews based on their own personal beliefs and politics now. We're supposed to be impartial, you know, and review these things impartially. So Marty says there, I've been told something interesting about the 60. Apparently Capaldi, Smith and Tennant have their own individual episodes with their own directors. Well, you know, it's been rumoured that the 60th is going to be a multi-episode thing. So, and let's be honest, they always, for anniversary specials, you know, they kind of do either multi-doctor stories or stories. But this would be a good idea to let them have their own individual episode, and then maybe at the end of it all then join forces for the last episode or something like that. But look, yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, there's a lot of speculation and rumor out there, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But that's it, folks. I just wanted to give me 2 cents on all of this. I'm just sick and tired of all the rubbish. You know, we'll see what happens. But as I said, it's going to be interesting now over the next couple of days and weeks. Now we'll see if any other media outlets now come out with their negativity about Hugh Grant. But again, it was suggested on the channel last night that maybe this was a way of RTD testing the water to see how it would go down. Well, as I said, it's been widely being received positively. So look, we'll say, look, it doesn't matter who they cast, right? If it's another bloke, there's going to be someone out there that's going to have a problem with it, right? I seen an actual tweet by someone which says, why do we have to have another straight white male again? Why can't we have a gay or a transgender doctor or a person of colour, right? Now, I'm not opposed to a person of colour. I'm not opposed because the doctor is an alien after all. But why is there an obsession with everything but a white man? Does that not come across as a bit, you know, is it racist bigotry? I don't know. But like, why is there such a hang up if it's another bloke and another white bloke? It's never been an issue before until the Whittaker era. Like, why does it have to boil down to that? Why can't it be, let's cast the best person for the role? You know? I just don't get it. But look, this is what new fandoms are all about now, unfortunately. And it's something that we'll have to, kind of accept. That's part of fandoms. We don't have to like it, but we don't have to listen to it either, to be quite honest with you. So, that's where I stand on it. At the end of the day, all I want is them to cast the best person for the role. I don't care about all the other stuff. It's irrelevant. You cast the best person. Ah, yeah, there will be meltdowns, Daniel. Of course, there's always meltdowns. So, what can I say? That's where we are in modern fandom. Tennant has Graham Harper directing. Smith has got Nick Horan, and Capaldi has Rachel. Yeah, that's that. It is interesting because her name has come up quite a lot. Rachel's name has come up quite a lot. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. We spoke about it on this channel anyway. But we have to just wait and see. I think that would be a great idea. Give them all their own individual episode, and then maybe for the last episode, then they all join forces, and then throw Whittaker's doctor out of the TARDIS or something, and she regenerates. Remember, she started off her life being pushed out of the TARDIS, so maybe end up by pushing her out of the TARDIS. I think it would be poetic justice for a lot of fans out there. I'm only messing. No, I'm not, actually. No, I'm not. Watch. I'll be called. Oh, no, it's toxic. He's toxic. He's talking about pushing the doctor out of the TARDIS. Who cares? Who cares? If he can't take a joke, then, well, I'm not actually really joking. That would be poetic justice. I'd have a bit.
They did torture children to get life.
Well, that's true, Cheryl. That's true. They did torture children in the show.
I don't really know that we have a right to say
Yeah. So I suppose, and they did all support that. So if I want Whittaker's doctor to be pushed out of the TARDIS for a regeneration, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Thanks for that reminder. Yeah. And remember, this doctor didn't give a shit about cancer either. So, and committed genocide.
Also, this coming from the person who was excited for the female doctor, who enjoyed the first episode, cheered it on, and then my soul died going forward. So I'm not.
And there you go. Words of wisdom from the wife. Yeah. I don't know. Look, it's nearly over anyway, folks. Nearly over. After this Easter special, which will be a disaster, and the ratings will probably sink even further. Then we get the centenary special, and then let's just hope it's done quick and easy, and we can move on. But I mean, look at Chibnall's flux. I mean, the universe in that state now. Is that it? Like there's literally planets and moons and stuff that were destroyed by this flux, and it was all because of her. Like it was said in the show, this flux is all because of you, Doctor. So it wasn't just the Daleks that were genocide. There was other races and other species and other aliens out there that were all genocide because this doctor wanted to find out who she was because she was a selfish person. I was going to say a selfish cow, but that's gone a bit too far. But that's how it came across. Who gives a crap who you are? Your job or what you've done or what all your predecessors have done or all your doctors before you, I should say, have done is save the universe, do things out of the kindness of their hearts. But you you think the universe owed you, and because of that, you destroyed half of it. So yeah, kudos to this doctor. Whee! and all the fans care about is whether her and her companion are going to kiss. But yeah, you don't care about all the other stuff. You don't care about all the other races that were wiped out because of the selfishness of this doctor. But yous are selfish, yous yourselves, so she reflects you guys. So that's why she was perfect doctor for you guys. She reflected the fandom she was pandering to. Cold, distant, selfish, egotistical. Wow, I'm on a roll. Chris says that you'll be called misogynistic now with your toxicity called into question. Wanting to throw Jodie out of the TARDIS, although she's already survived from a fall from orbit without any equipment. Yeah. Well, you know, after 5 years of it, I'm used to it. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. Anyway, I think I'll wrap it up before I say any more and upset all the fans of this era anymore. And Cheryl lost something, so I have to go and help her find it because, you know, it's a thing Cheryl does all the time. It's funny. And it just be right under our nose. What exactly are you looking for? Right. Now, see, I'm on the sofa, and I bet you the lid, it's on the table.
Yeah, see, I lost it. Found it.
See that? I didn't even have to move off the sofa, folks. She's in the bedroom looking for her.
That's right. I am in the bedroom doing home maintenance.
That's it.
While you are streaming. I'll continue on, though. No worries.
No problem. See, you even upset the neighbour's dog. She's talking crap. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for watching. I really do appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe, folks. And remember, as I said, you know, we're going to have a lot more of this stuff come out. We'll see if any other names are put in the frame. But I do have strong suspicion that there's something in these Hugh Grant rumours. I think it would be a coup for Doctor Who. And as I said, you know, Doctor Who is not in the position that it once was, especially under RTD and at the start with Stephen Moffat. It's lost a lot of ground, credibility. It's become a bit of a laughing stock. Ratings all-time low. And it needs something. It needs a miracle. And RTD, hopefully, will be that miracle. He hit the ground running once before. I believe he can do it again. We'll wait and see over the next few days, few weeks. We'll see what else comes out. As I said, if these Hugh Grant rumours persist over the next few weeks, I think there will be something to be announced soon. And don't be surprised, you know, while I do think it would be weird to announce something connected to the RTD era before this current era has even ended. But I will say RTD was announced, obviously, and this era is still happening. So rule nothing out. Rule nothing out because, you know, they don't seem to be they don't seem to care that this current era is still going. They'll make an announcement if they have to make an announcement. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but we'll keep our ear to the ground. We'll keep obviously reporting to you guys. But I did want to give me 2 cents on this article because I think it is disgraceful. You know, it is. You know, see, the idea of these articles is to set the fake outrage. You know, they start reporting on it, and these accounts then that mightn't be necessarily on board with another man taking over will retweet that article, right? Then it gains traction, you see. And then the false narrative then has been spread, right? The overwhelming majority of fans seem to be good with this decision if the rumours are true. And right now it is a rumour, but the rumour has been received positively, not negatively, like some people would claim it is. So I'll leave it there, folks. Thanks for popping in. As I said, we'll have a lot more of these kind of, streams. And yeah, as I said, I'm having fun doing them. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we get some more information soon. And as I said, keep watching, keep supporting. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you guys very soon. And don't forget, I do be streaming on the Irish Geek as well. We do play a bit of Black Ops 3. We play a bit of FIFA as well. Have a league season going there with international teams. So if you're interested in that, go over and subscribe to the Irish Geek as well. Right, as I said, we'll see you soon. Have a good one, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day.